Hey, Summerhill Cinema 700 here with a movie review on the what I believe to be 1981 film, Final Exam. This is an 80s slasher film, one that I have wanted to watch for a while but hadn't, and finally watched it last week. So I thought I'd do a review on it. So let's just get started right away. So at the start of this movie, we see a this guy and his girlfriend are they're up in their car up on the top of like some hill or something, this mountain. They're making love in the car, typical car love scene. Um, she's like she doesn't like the idea that they're there. She's like, I don't like this area. Let's go somewhere else. But he wants to stay, and the car starts shaking. She's like, what is that? He's like, yeah, it's just the guys messing with us from the football team. Well, he ends up getting dragged out of the car and stabbed to death. So it was a little worse than he thought. And can't remember what it's. I think does she get killed? I can't remember. I don't think she dies, but he gets like stabbed to death, strung up in a tree or something like that. Can't remember for sure, but he gets stabbed to death anyways, nonetheless. Um, the next day we see like this school, and I don't know if it's is it a high school or is it college. I'm not 100% sure because obviously in most of these movies the students look a lot older than they actually are portraying in the movie. But in this movie they actually seem more like they actually were closer to that age, but they could be like either like seniors in high school or juniors in college or whatnot. But anyways, the talk at school is about this killing that happened. People are talking about it, and this is right around the time that final exams are happening in the school, um, and whatnot. So, and we see this weird scene too, where there's like this teacher and he's like making love to one of the students, and it's kind of creepy. This blonde chick. Um, and then we see like these shots of like his van just like driving around the school, like watching the people there. It's like, oopsies. It's like, what the hell? It's kind of creepy. Something's going on here. And anyways, probably then the most shocking scene in this movie happens. There's a mass shooting at the school. These guys just get out of the van, and it's just like a regular day at the school. And then all of a sudden, his van pulls up. Guys get out, and start shooting everybody with the fully automatic weapons. And then they're like, it's funny. There's a scene in the classroom where these people are like, "What's that noise outside?" It's like screaming and like machine gun fire. I think you would probably have a pretty clear idea of what's happening, but for some reason they can't figure it out. Um, that's why you go to college, isn't it, to figure these things out? But anyways, they don't know what's happening. It ends up that it's a prank, and it's like that is definitely a bad idea for a prank, a mass school shooting, and of course this is before like Columbine or anything like that. So you would not get away with having a scene like that in a film now. But it was the '80s. It was '81, so they got away with it. Anyways, that's a prank. Everybody's like, ah ha ha, that was funny. Yeah. And it didn't seem fake. Like they must have been firing blanks because it was like loud machine gun fire. But anyways, um, shortly after that, we see these two guys are like jocks. They want their buddy to like steal the test for them. Like, they don't want to write it because they just want this guy to steal it for them. So he's like, go steal the test for us. And then one of the girls in the movie, who's like the main one, she kind of plays like the shy, kind of dorky character, but she's actually kind of attractive in my opinion. But anyway, she ends up leaving the school, and we see her walking away, and we just see this other van just kind of sitting there. It's like, what the hell? Finally, like I don't know, 20 minutes or half an hour into this film, something like that, the cops finally end up showing up. They take their sweet time, right? After this one dorky guy calls, says, "Oh, there's been a school shooting here. You got to come quickly." And I guess the dork that called him explains that it was actually a prank, and that is just like the cop ranting at them for like 10 minutes. He's really like pissed off. Oh, you idiots! Like it was a prank. Um, we see that the one girl, while she's walking away, like this main character girl, she's being followed. We see like the shadow following her around outside and also inside the campus of the school. And what happens? So the jocks, the kind of jock characters, they break into the dorks' dorm, and they are pissed off that he called the police, so they threaten him and stuff like that and whatnot. They're just kind of dirt jerks. Um, then we see the scene where that guy that I told you about, they threaten him. They're like, "You got to go steal the test for us." He ends up stealing the test, and then we see this shadow coming at him with like a knife. But he succeeds at stealing the test for them, so we expect that the jocks are going to be happy about that. But no, they're not. They actually instead tie him up to a fucking tree, cover him in like shaving cream, and leave him outside for the entire night. Because I guess that's how you repay your friends back in those days. So that's very nice of them to do that. So the guy's tied to a tree for the night. They dump ice in his like drawers and stuff, and it's like that's really pleasant. Um, and then the one of these jock characters talks about like, oh, we should break into the as if that wasn't bad enough, mass school shooting prank, tying a guy to a tree for the night. Then they decide, let's start dealing drugs, right, like El Chapo. So what they do is they break into like, I don't know what it is. It's like this like, actually before we get to that, he's tied to the tree and we hear like this noise coming up. It's like the middle of the night at this point. He's probably been there for like 6 hours or something. He's tied to the tree. We hear this like we see the shadow or something, hear this noise, and then finally, oh, for fuck's sake, stuff keeps falling off the shelves here. Got a poltergeist or something. The school campus, there's like this campus cop. He comes over and he's like, oh, thank God, finally, please untie me. And the cop doesn't even do anything. He's like, well, it's like more like a campus security guard. He's like, whatever. He like opens the kid's the underwear, and he pours whiskey down there. It's like everybody in this film is an asshole. He has his girlfriend. This was the guy who went to steal the test again. He's tied to the tree now. He has a girlfriend. His girlfriend goes to get him, and when she gets there, the ropes have been cut, and then we see this shadow figure jumps out from the tree, stabs the guy to death, like 50 times. And that's the second kill in this film, and it's 55 minutes in, so we're already almost an hour into this film, and we've only had a couple kills. His girlfriend finds his shoes. So sorry, I said his girlfriend was out there. She finally shows up now and finds his shoes. And then she sees this shadow, and she thinks it's him. So she gets freaked out and runs off. This hand grabs her off screen, so presumably she's dead. Then we see the jock characters. They're raiding the gymnasium. They go into the gymnasium. It's cool. You see the big gym in the school. They go into like the weight room. I guess for some reason they got steroids in there or something or whatever it is. I don't know why there's like tons of pills at a school gym, but anyways, nonetheless, they're trying to get these pills. It's pitch black in the gym, and the scoreboard turns on, which is actually probably one of the more cool scenes in this film. The scoreboard turns on in the gym, so the blonde jock, turns the light on in the gym, and he sees this figure standing there with a knife, attacks him. They have a big fight. The jock gets his ass kicked. He drags him into the weight room and attaches him to one of like the cable fly machines, and strangles him to death with that, which is a pretty unique kill. But not much gore in this film at all. The dorky character, this skinny dork character guy, goes over to the dorm of this one girl, who plays the shy girl in this film. He's like, "You're pretty." All the other, because this one girl's complaining about how like her blonde friend who's like having an affair with the teacher, how she gets everything she wants and stuff like that. And she's like, "I never get anything I want." He's like, "You're really pretty." And anyway, so that's nice. And then one of the other jock characters who I guess he decided not to go steal pills. He just got his friend to do it. He goes over to find him because it's been a couple hours. He's like, "Where the fuck is he?" Finds him dead. His body's stuffed in a locker, which is a pretty cool effect. That's one of the more cool effects. The body stuffed in the locker. He freaks out. He runs outside. Ends up in this weird industrial ass building. It's like a factory or something. There's a sign on one of the doors in there too. It says "Danger, do not enter," like at any cost. He goes inside because that's what you do in an 80s slasher film. So he goes in. He gets stabbed in the chest. It's an on-screen kill, not off, but it's not that amazing. Then the dorky character ends up going to the same gymnasium, and finds the bodies. So he freaks out. Well, the body falls out of the locker. So he calls the police again, but of course they don't believe him because the whole school shooting thing was a hoax. So they presume this is also a hoax. So the cop's like, "Yeah, whatever, bullshit." Doesn't do anything. The nerd's like, then I'll take care of this myself. And then we see the blonde girl who was gonna, who's having kind of this like relationship with the teacher. She's waiting, I guess, for the teacher to come fuck her, and it's like in this, it's like a weird art studio. She's just waiting there, laying there on the bed. She hears the door open. Oh, it must be him, right? Anyways, flash forward, we see another scene of the dork running around. He's just like sprinting around the whole campus. He gets pulled into a room, gets killed. He's walking around the hallways. And then we see kind of like the shy girl, we'll just call her, the dark hair one. She's walking around in the hall. She finds his body and she thinks it's a prank because they're always pulling pranks, these guys. And then she realizes it's not, so she freaks out and runs off. And then we see the blonde girl laying there, waiting for the teacher to come to Papa. And she ends up getting stabbed to death. So it's kind of like a reoccurring thing now in this film, being stabbed to death. But she meets her demise. And then we see the shy girl. Oh, she's running around. But there's nobody there, right? Because it's an 80s slasher film, and when you're running around for help, there's nobody there. She opens his door. The guy's there with the knife. She runs off again. It's just this big scene of her just running around the whole campus. She ends up going to the cafeteria, and she grabs a knife. And then killer ends up coming down. There's like this little confrontation in the cafeteria. She hits him on the head with a frying pan, I think. She locks him in this room, but then he finds a way out. He just comes around. I guess there was another door in there or something. So she runs outside again. And then the school coach, who's like this coach for the football team, he shows up because I guess he was going to take the campus security guard guy. They were going to go bow hunting together. So the coach comes and sees all this happening. So he shoots the killer with a bow and arrow. But the killer like grabs the arrow in midair, which would never happen with an actual like compound crossbow or rather just a compound bow or like a long bow. Unless it was like a toy crossbow, you would never be able to catch an arrow. That just wouldn't happen. Shoots the bow at him, but again, this is a movie, so catches the arrow and then stabs the coach to death. He corners the main girl. It's like they're like in this almost like a bell tower. He's up at the top and he corners her with the knife. She beats him over the head with a 2x4 for about a couple minutes. Then he falls down this big, long spiral like staircase, super far down, falls down there to his death. So he's dead. Probably falls like 10, 12 stories. So he's dead now. And the killer's face is revealed in the movie. And I don't even know who it is. Like, was it somebody who was early on, like in the film earlier, and I just didn't notice? I don't know. It's just like this random guy. Didn't have much like backstory. It was just a kind of weird movie. But so she goes down there and she's looking at the body, but guess what? He's not dead. He grabs her leg because, you can survive a 12-story fall like that. And then she stabs him to death. And that's the end of the movie. And then you just see her sitting on the staircase crying, and that's like, and then this credits start going, and it's like, I thought that in the end of this movie, the police were gonna show up and she was gonna be framed for the murder. Kind of like an Intruder, if you've ever seen that, how the non-killers get kind of suspected as being the killers. But anyways, that's the end of that. As far as a movie goes, it's not a good movie at all. Even as an 80s slasher, it's lacking. But it has its charm. The music was really good. I liked the characters, actually, especially kind of the shy girl, her character. It was good in the movie. And it worked. Even like the dorky character and the jocks. I found the characters it was just entertaining to watch. So special effects were not that great. It was probably very low budget. The highlight would be the kill in the gym with the cable machine, and then the scene where his body stuffed in the locker was a pretty good special effect as well. But overall, it's just weird. It's hard to follow. It's like, what's going on here? Who is the killer? It's never explained, unless I just missed it and they did a bad job trying to explain it. But it was weird, so, it had a little bit of its charm. I think Scream Factory released it on Blu-ray. I might end up picking it up, because it's pretty cheap, usually on Amazon, just to have in the 80s slasher collection. But, you might want this if you're a fan of 80s slashers, but if you're just a general horror fan, you're probably not going to enjoy this one. There's not a ton to it. It's fairly generic and whatnot, but it has its charm. It's entertaining. Like I said, the music's good, and the characters are kind of fun to follow. So, but overall, it's definitely it's from the golden age of slashers, and it's definitely not a golden one, but it was entertaining. So let me know what you think of Final Exam in the comments below. If you ever watched it, let me know what you think, and I look forward to seeing what you have to say about it. All right, thank you very much for watching this video, and we will see you next time.